Hi guys, I am back and today I'm going to be doing the next update in my Pan Those Eyeshadow Palette series. I believe this is my 10th update and I am currently working on the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals Volume 1 palette. I am sorry in advance if you like this palette. It is no longer available from what I understand unless you want to buy it off of like eBay or buy it secondhand somehow. This is a beautiful palette. It is the 4th palette that I'm focusing on this year. This project was largely inspired by Victoria Dixon, who I will link down below, but she is lovely and she does her own Pan Those Eyeshadow Palette series where she has a similar idea of picking palettes to focus on and randomly generating shades from them, but she works on all of her palettes at the same time rather than one at a time rolling them in and out the way I did. So she's great. In case you don't remember, the 4 shades that I was working on were Soothe in the metallic finish, Story in the metallic finish, Soothe in the sequin finish, and Ritual in the matte finish. So I'm going to quickly show what the palette was looking like last month. And this is what the palette is looking like this month. It is quite large. As you can see, there is a good dip in the shade Soothe in the matte finish. I do also have a good amount of use on like Poet, some of these glitters, Aura, in the like sequin and matte. So I have definitely gotten a good amount of love on this palette. There's no pans or even really big dips in any of the shades that I do have in my quartet, but I have been reaching for them. At the beginning of the month, I was wearing Story a lot on the lid. It is such a beautiful shade. It is so bright. It has that kind of like gold flash, but it is still quite warm and fiery and kind of like, yeah, just like peachy almost. And then a few times as kind of like a going out like fancier look, I built up Soothe in the crease. Then I took Ritual kind of on the outer kind of corner and along my upper and lower lash line. And then I took Soothe in the sequin finish and tapped that just along my lid. And I didn't take anything else metallic or anything. I just let that be the glimmery aspect of my look, and I really loved it. I think that these sequin shades are so stunning. I also tried Sequin Memory as a liner. I did like it, but it wasn't as forgiving. I kind of screwed up one of the sides and it was very hard to correct it, whereas a regular matte or a regular metallic tends to be easier to correct, easier to remove. This, the little micro shimmer kind of gets everywhere, and then the black pigment is so richly pigmented that it's hard to remove. So you kind of just have like this micro shimmer flicking everywhere and then black smearing when you're trying to remove it. Not the best to do like a dramatic but trying to be precise wing, but it is still a gorgeous shade and I was really happy with how the look turned out. It just took longer than I was hoping for. I've always loved the shade Aura in the sequin finish. I really love this whole palette, but I am excited to maybe get some visible progress on Story in the metallic shade, and I do think if I am going to really hit pan on any of these shades, the first 2 will definitely be Aura and Soothe in the matte finish. I have been using Ritual a good amount, just not enough to really show a noticeable dip. You can kind of see maybe that there's a small dip forming, but deep browns like that I tend to use very sparingly even when I do use them. I have no deep desire to roll in any new shades, challenge myself to like use everything up. I'm kind of just really loving this palette and using it as much as I can over the next 2 months. Again, part of the reason why I did choose this palette is because I love it so much. I wanted to give myself permission to really use it, but I also will not be able to travel with it at the end of the year. So I really only have about a month and a half left with this palette before I pick a much smaller palette to travel with over winter break. And then I can kind of start my new project when I get back from winter break. I've really been loving this palette. It's stunning. It is so beautiful. It is so easy to use. The only thing that has made me want to use something else was for a Halloween makeup look that this didn't fit that makeup look, and that's fine because that was not a look that I would normally do. And to play with my new Dior palette. Those are the only 2 times I've reached for something else this past month, and that is really saying something given how many like kind of times I've gotten dressed up in the past month. So that is everything that I have for today's video. I know it was a little bit more rambly than these updates usually are, but I'm just so happy to be using this palette. If you are interested in any sort of like palette bingo or get ready with me featuring this palette, please let me know. I would love to film more content with it while I have it rolled into this project. And other than that, I hope you are having an amazing, awesome day wherever you are, and that I get to see you in a future video. Thanks, guys!